My Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings, you know the drill. October brings a whole new set of energies your way astrologically that are going to affect you in specific ways. So in today's video, let's dive into your October of 2025 horoscope. Hello Taurus, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we are talking about Taurus's October of 2025 horoscope. In today's video specifically, I'm going to cover what may be coming up for you in October, Taurus, the major transits of all planets that are affecting you in October, and my top advice and recommendations for your sign, you Taurus, based off of these transits. Now, quick note that I want to make in regards to today's horoscope for October of 2025, I will not be covering any of the major aspects that we are having. So trines, squares, sextiles, for the most part, they're not going to be covered in today's video because there's such an insane amount happening astrologically week by week that to cover it all in your sign's horoscope today would probably take up to close to 3 hours. So if you're wanting to know more about these minute aspects that are happening between the sun, moon, Mercury, the moon, which plays a very strong role this month, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications because every Sunday I publish a weekly forecast where I go deep into these more minute transits. Overall, this is meant to give you, though these aspects are important, and though I'm going over them and not going over them today, better said, this video is talking more so about the main transits that are going to affect you in this more broad scope theme of what is coming up for you, Taurus. So though I am skipping over the aspects today, this is still your complete guide in many ways to October of 2025 and how it's going to affect you and give you practical advice for what to do, what to prioritize, and things to contemplate during this month ahead. Of course, I will cover more about my other offerings at the end of today's video, but let's get that out of the way so we can get into the good stuff and talk about your October of 2025 horoscope. Starting off first with what may be coming up for you as general themes in October, Taurus. As you'll see over the screen, I created a little infographic for you guys to remember the key transits, your contemplations, your to-do list, all the things you should really keep in mind for October. If you want, I made this a pretty design so that it can be used as your desktop or your wallpaper. So I recommend pulling this video up on your computer desktop and screenshotting it so then you can make it your wallpaper. If it's blurry, I will be sending this out on my weekly newsletter very soon, so you can join that down in the description box below. But overall, Taurus, this year, this October specifically, brings up for you, per usual, every year we have for you, is your health habits, your work, your routines, your services, and your relationships. This is because we dominantly have strong Libra energy this month, of course with the sun in Libra, but we also have Scorpio energy halfway through the month, which is your direct opposite. So October is always your time of year to focus mainly, not only, but mainly on your health, your habits, your work, your routine, your services, getting into the flow of a rhythm of life, really embracing a nice balanced flow of work, play, lifestyle, embracing your daily life enjoyment and refining your daily routine. You may feel like these things are on the forefront of your mind this month, but not only is there this focus on prioritizing your health and your routines this month, I'm seeing that for you, specifically in October of 2025, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings, is that you are implementing relationships as a need in your daily life. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily romantic, but many Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings out there may find that they are prioritizing their relationships, their friendships, their partnerships, connecting with other people on a day-to-day basis in October. And this is something that I would highly encourage, which we'll talk about as we get to the end segment of our video today. But overall, as the main themes for you in October, it can really feel like your health, your well-being, the daily rhythm that you have, your daily rhythm in general, is on the forefront of your mind, alongside with your relationships, your connections, your friendships. This is your month for really focusing on your well-being and the people that support that well-being. Now, why exactly do I say this, Taurus? It is because of the transits that we have, the sum total of them all coming your way in October. So let's get into what these exact transits are, starting off with the most basic transit that I always like to cover first, which is the sun. Sun, per usual, spends its time in two signs in the month of October, Libra and Scorpio. For you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and and rising. Libra is your 6th house of health, well-being, routines, and rhythms, and also your work-based, service-based jobs. Additionally, Scorpio energy is your direct opposite. So you and Aries, this is your relationship season for you guys. October brings this energy of connection for you. With the sun transiting in these two signs, I like to use the metaphor always as a reminder of what the sun brings up for us, is that the sun nurtures plants, and we have a growing season for different plants. As we enter fall, this is when we think we have pumpkins, squashes, these more cool, temperate based plants, as opposed to summer when maybe we have more fruits and berries, I think of. And so what the sun's transits astrologically represent is what can you grow and nurture during this time. The idea is wherever the sun transits, this is what you may want to prioritize in many ways. The sun also brings us vitality. It is the part of our chart that represents what brings us vitality. And so with the sun transiting these two signs, you are finding that you're gaining, Taurus, more vitality, reward, and you can grow your relationships and your wellness during this October of 2025, as it comes every year. So in the first 21 days of October, Taurus, you may feel like you want to prioritize themes of Libra, balance and harmony and connection in your 6th house of routines, health, and well-being. How do you keep a balanced lifestyle? That is the question for you in the first 21 days of October. And then from the 22nd onward, the sun is in Scorpio, your direct opposite, which means it's time for you to focus on your relationships. In the past 6 months, you've been cultivating the self, focusing on who you are, what you do. And now as the sun enters Scorpio, you focus on the other. How can you connect with another on the basis of connection, depth, intimacy, being honest and vulnerable? Now, I will get more into these Scorpio themes as we get later into the video, because we have quite a few Scorpio transits happening, which really puts this emphasis for you, Taurus, on feeling a sense of vitality, warmth, and radiance the more you prioritize deep emotional connections, whether that's romantic, going on dates, spending time with your partner if you have one, or if it's friendships, spending time with a friend, having good conversation, or even maybe a business partner, because 7th house energy does bring to light not only our romantic and platonic partnerships, but also our business partnerships as well. So the sun's transits, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, tell you what your growing season is, what you can grow and nurture during this phase of life and during this month of October. But the moon transits, on the other hand, tell us more about what the emotional storyline and emotional insights that are coming up for you. Per usual, every month we have a full moon and a new moon. The full moon will be in the sign of Aries on October 6th, which is present from the 3rd to the 9th, as we have 3 days leading up to and 3 days that follow shadow period. This full moon in Aries is very special in my personal interpretation, and I'm sure many astrologers will agree, because it is connected to the solar eclipse that we had in Aries around March 27th, I believe, of 2025. So this is wrapping up an eclipse story. Though it is not an eclipse itself, and though we had already our 2 fall eclipses back in September, this really closes out the eclipse portal, and this closes up an eclipse season cycle. So I invite you to look back, Taurus, to roughly end of March. What were you initiating and intending during that time? What were you doing in regards to your relationship with your mind? What were you doing for psychology? What were you doing for inner work? What were you doing to rewire your brain? What self-limiting beliefs were coming up? This is all about your relationship to your mind and the unconscious fears that maybe hold you back. It additionally could be about your relationship to solitude, how you spent your time in solitude. Something is now being rewarded in coming to light here, something that you've been working on for both 6 months and 2 weeks. So this is an initiation of independence, what can maybe be coming up for many Taurus sun, moon, and risings with this full moon in Aries on the 6th and present from the 3rd to the 9th is I've finally become the level of independent I wanted to be. That's what I think is going to be coming up for many Taurus sun, moon, and risings out there. Additionally, we will have a new moon in Libra, a fellow Venus-ruled sign, from October 18th to the 24th, and peaking on the 21st of October. With this new moon happening in Libra, Taurus, sun, moon, and risings, this brings up the desire for you to initiate a new beginning in regards to your health and well-being right before Scorpio season starts off before we have the sun enter Scorpio. And so what I'd recommend to my Taurus sun, moon, and risings out there is spending the first 20 days roughly of October reflecting and recognizing what really serves your health and well-being the most. What habits, what people, what do you implement into your daily life, and do those things serve you? When we have the new moon in Libra, you may be really initiating some sort of new habit or exercise or intention that prioritizes your well-being overall. A new moon in Libra is a great time to start a new health habit for you, to start a new workout plan, to do a meal prep, to prioritize certain people. As this is in Libra, this is all about your connection. This could also be potentially a new job, as sixth house energy is about our work and services. And so many Taurus sun, moon, and risings out there may be starting a new career path or a new job during the new moon in Libra. Now, as I said earlier, we have a lot of Scorpio energy present in the month of October, Taurus. And one of the reasons for that is because we have Mercury in Scorpio from October 6th through to the 29th. So with Mercury in Scorpio, during Libra season, not only are you prioritizing your health and well-being, but you're realizing how much connection is needed for well-being, in my interpretation. Wherever Mercury transits, this tells us the style of communication that we can benefit from utilizing. And so Mercury being in Scorpio prioritizes depth, vulnerability, honesty, authenticity, and investigation in conversation. And also investigation in our natural perception, asking, what do I not know? Now, it's important always with Mercury and Scorpio that we don't become mistrusting. That is the downside, that we don't become judgmental or assume the worst, but we try to be a bit more perceptive and listen to what is going on beneath the surface. We dive deep with people. So diving deep is the recommendation, and especially for you, Taurus, diving deep with other people. With Mercury in Scorpio, whether Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising, this is seventh house energy. It's your direct opposite. So the recommendation for you from the 6th to the 29th is prioritizing one-on-one conversations and asking yourself in these one-on-one dialogues, how can I dive deeper? How can I be more honest? Now, I don't want this to be taken out of context and assume that you should be just wearing your heart on your sleeve and start crying to every one-on-one interaction that you have. Not everyone necessarily needs that. That's not necessarily going to benefit you, but prioritizing being more authentic and vulnerable and inviting people to be more authentic and vulnerable through question asking and one-on-one interactions can be exceptionally rewarding this month. And then when we have from the 29th onward, Mercury in Sagittarius, I'm not even going to touch on Mercury in Libra in the first 6 days of the month because I already kind of talked about Mercury in Libra in my weekly forecast, monthly forecast, and my previous videos for the month of September. But with Mercury in Sagittarius from the 29th onward for October, this can really bring up for you the desire to cultivate greater intimacy and depth with others through sharing your personal beliefs and ideologies. So from the 29th onward, Taurus, you could feel like you want to share more about what you believe and embrace more exploration. So in the first, with Mercury and Scorpio, this is a time where you're sharing more of how you feel for a sense of closeness and understanding and connection. And then from the 29th onward with Mercury and Sagittarius, this is when you can be sharing more of what you believe, what you think. And this can bring you a level of depth and connection with others that feels like intimacy. Now, it's very important for you to note Venus's transits in the month of October, Taurus, because Venus is your ruler. So I put two over the screen, two oppositions that we're having. These are days where you may feel a bit more tension or funky. When we get closer to these dates, I will have videos, at least in my weekly forecast, talking about what exactly these oppositions bring up. But I just want you to take a mental note that if you're feeling in a funk or love is feeling off or life is feeling off on the 11th and the 13th, it could just be because Venus oppositions. Now, Venus spends its time in two different signs this month. Taurus, it spends its time in a fellow earth sign, Virgo, and from the 13th onward, Venus will be in Libra, which is in its home sign, one of its two home signs. The other time being when Venus transits Taurus, your sign. So it's very beneficial to have Venus in its home sign in Libra for you in the month of October. This means that you could really feel this sense of love for life is more dominant. And I will additionally say that with Venus in a fellow Earth sign in the first 13 days of the month, this is still extremely positive for you because Virgo is in positive aspect to you as it is a fellow Earth sign. So in the first 13 days of the month, Taurus, wherever Venus transits, that is where you're finding your love life and your love for life. So again, it's like the idea of prioritizing these things is very recommended. So in the first 13 days of the month, Venus in Virgo, you may find that you want to prioritize more creativity, passionate pursuits, your hobbies. I would think of this specifically as homebody hobbies, like almost there's like a term for it on social media now where it's basically how women have come back to their granny phase where they crochet and knit. I'm one of them. And this could be the kind of the hobbies you're enjoying right now because Virgo energy is very humble and down to earth. It wants a simple little life. Fifth house energy though, which is Virgo for you in this case, additionally brings the desire for romance, creativity, and passion. And so this combination kind of gives this energy to me of these more down-to-earth homebody hobbies, as I described. So simply put, with Venus in Virgo, for one, Taurus, you may find more sense of love for life by prioritizing your homebody hobbies, doing things that ground you and make you feel stable, things that you enjoy. Ask yourself, how can I be more passionate? What am I interested in? How can I do things that help me feel grounded and stable? And this can bring you enjoyment for life. Maybe this is you realizing that you actually want to stay in, and that brings you more life enjoyment than going out. Additionally, if you are going to find your love life, if you're wanting more movement in your love life this month, Venus transiting your fifth house is very good for that. The fifth house is the house of romance. And so when we have Venus in our fifth house, this sparks our romantic life. And so Taurus says you may find that your romantic life is more active with people who are more grounded and stable characters would be in my interpretation. Additionally, you may find more love life interests, romantic interests, the more you prioritize groundedness, stability, practicality, hobbies, and interests in stable ways in your life. And then from the 13th onward, Venus is in its home sign, Libra, one of its two, and this is focused on your health habits and routines. It is an interesting combination of energies we have here, given the stagger that the sixth house is naturally ruled by Virgo, and you're gonna have sixth house energy with Venus in Libra. And then additionally, Venus is going to transit Virgo itself. And so overall, this whole month I see for you, Taurus, is prioritizing life enjoyment through stable means is your priority. You want to do things that feel good. This doesn't mean you never go out and party if that's what you feel called to do, but you may be finding that the more you implement routine, grounded, stable forms of enjoying your life, the more love for life you gain. And also, the more you attract love interests, more romantic encounters. Additionally, an interpretation for Venus being in Libra in October from the 13th onward, this is the energy of meeting someone through the things you do for your health. So stereotype goes like meeting people at the gym, meeting people at a yoga class, meeting people in the places you go and the people you interact with on a day-to-day basis. So if you're looking for love, look no further than the things you do on a daily basis, the place you go on a daily basis. Overall, with this being Libra Virgo energy, really embracing Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, your stable, balanced, grounded energy will attract the right partner. Virgo and Libra together really create this energy of balance and stability. So how can you prioritize that this month? Additionally, helping your love life and also your work, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, is Mars. Mars hangs out in the sign of Scorpio the entire month of October. And so this means that wherever Mars transits, this is where we can put our physical energy in. This is where we can take action to get the most reward. It's basically where our physical energy says, put it that way. And when we do so, we gain a benefit from it. So with Taurus in Scorpio, with Mars in Scorpio in your seventh house, Taurus, this means that your physical energy wants to be channeled into one-on-one dynamics. And so if you are focused on your work and your career, prioritizing one-on-one interactions, prioritizing business partnerships could be very beneficial this month. Really implementing more attention and care into your one-on-one business connections can be good for your career. And additionally, for those looking for love, prioritizing one-on-one connections, prioritizing one-on-one interactions is how you can bring that love for life in. Simply put as well, Mars in Scorpio says the more you focus on being obsessive, intense, doing the things you're passionate about, being invested in something or someone, the more energy and vitality you will feel. Jupiter and Saturn stay where they have been for the entire month of October. Jupiter remains in Cancer and Saturn is remaining retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And so with Jupiter in Cancer, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this is bringing a focus to expanding still your network as you have been since June of 2025. And so this is just this theme that you continue to expand upon, is how can I expand my physical daily network or my digital network? This is for the Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings who are writers and creators out there. You're still expanding your social network digitally and expanding your social reach. Overall, I think many Tauruses are just focused on how can I surround myself with people on the daily who make me feel good and in an environment that feels good for me. Jupiter forms quite a few squares this month though, and so it may feel like this is a bit on pause, though you are expanding it. I would recommend that, simply put, for my Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings out there, it may feel like your daily network, maybe the place you live, the town you live, is not quite as making progress as you would want. But this is an opportunity for you to prioritize how you can change your individual daily rhythm and routines to bring more well-being in. And additionally, with Saturn retrograde in Pisces, this is still a phase where maybe you are reflecting and questioning what you need in your community and purpose. So overall, with these two planets, kind of this energy culmination of these two water signs, Taurus, it may feel like your actual social bubbles are not quite as progressive and moving forward and growing and evolving as normal, but this maybe is just an opportunity to focus on your one-on-one relationships instead and focus on your own relationship to yourself and your own well-being. And as far as our outer planets go, Uranus stays retrograde in Gemini, which is frankly just meaning that you maybe are questioning some of your inner thoughts and beliefs are regarding your money mindset and also regarding your self-worth. On October 22nd, Neptune retrograde is going to re-enter Pisces and join Saturn. So I'm not even really going to touch on that because I kind of touched on the themes already a bit with Saturn retrograde here. Simply put, reflection, revisiting, slowing down in your community purpose and purpose-based projects, so to say. October 13th, Pluto finally stations direct back in Aquarius. So I recommend to my Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings out there, look back over the summer, as of June to now, what has been going on in regards to your healing journey. Specifically for you, I'm calculating here. I think this has to do with your career specifically, if I'm calculating correctly, which I believe I am. What have you been doing and trying to heal in regards to your career? What has felt slowed down in your career? This can now gain motion forward. Final transits I want to note are some of the asteroids and points, especially because I consider these to be very impactful personally and helpful. So Chiron is still retrograde in Aries, which means that you're still, again, reflecting on some of the wounds that may still need more healing in regards to how much time you spend in solitude, fear of being alone, fear of independence, fear of isolation maybe. Black Moon Lilith is also still transiting Scorpio this month, and I want to touch on this because we have a lot of Scorpio energy present. And with Black Moon Lilith also being here, Taurus, it seems like this month you're in pursuit of deep connections with others, but you may also along the way have to identify, recognize, and work through fear of being too much in relationships. And that is because Black Moon Lilith and Scorpio is here calling you to heal your shame and reclaim your power. And finally, the North Node is still in Pisces. The South Node is still in Virgo. They are halfway through their journey through the signs, and these signs in particular. So maybe look back. How have the last 9 months been in regards to your purpose, your community, your big friend groups, your purpose-driven projects, and additionally, your pleasure, your play, your romance? What have you shifted and redefined here? So in the end, with all that said, what is my top advice and recommendations for you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Risings, to align with the energy of October for your benefit? And I'm going to kind of try to touch on every aspect of life, or the two main that I get questions about, which is career and love, and what I'd recommend if you're someone in pursuit of something in those two realms. Overall, general consensus goes, this is a season for you to focus, Taurus, on your health, your well-being, and the connections that support that. And additionally, supporting healthy relationships. So how can you prioritize balance and depth in your daily life, your health, and also how can you prioritize relationships and connection here? I would recommend to many Tauruses out there to really try to implement more connection into their daily life, whether that is just being more open to conversation in the places they go on a day-to-day basis, or prioritizing those things that they've wanted to do for their health but maybe have waited on. So for example, I think of, let's say you're a Taurus Sun, Moon, or Rising out there who's been wanting to try this yoga studio. Start a membership just for 1 month and try to open yourself up to those connections. Also, observe if there are any social outings, social groups, or connection-based workshops, events that you could attend. Venus is still in Virgo as well this month, so prioritizing your hobbies as well. Simply put, asking yourself, Taurus, how can I bring balance, connection, and stability into my life in October is the question to ask yourself. For my Taurus Sun, Moon, and Risings looking for love, look no further than creating stability and balance in your life and then moving through the world on that basis. This internal energetic shift into aligning with more stability, groundedness, and fairness and balance to yourself can attract the partner that you're looking for. The areas of life to look for love are your routines, your hobbies, the places you go on a day-to-day basis, and the things you do that you're interested in, that are fun for you in grounded, stable ways. For my Taurus Sun, Moon, and Risings who are seeking more career development, the best way to implement this and prioritize this and grow this month is by prioritizing your one-on-one connections, by listening to other people, connecting with other people. Understanding other people is going to help you move your career forward. And also Pluto is going direct in your 10th house, so trying to implement any forms of innovations and embracing individuality in the workplace could be very beneficial for you. That is my brief touch on advice for Taurus in the month of October. Of course, this is going to just be based off of general consensus of your Taurus Sun, Moon, or Rising, which is just 1 to 3 aspects of your chart. When you have your Pluto placement, your Venus, the signs, the houses, this all plays a role in how October is going to play out for you. So if you want to go deeper into how exactly October is going to play out for you and get your complete guide to how October is going to affect you, what you're being called to do, how this aligns with your purpose, and how you can use this energy to attract your desires, then I invite you to book a reading down in the description box below, where in 1 hour or half an hour, we can try to go deep into what you are meant to do in October and how to align with this. I would recommend an hour reading for the month of October, considering how many transits there are. And if you book a reading, we can go into those more minute transits that are going on with the moon, Mercury, and more, those aspects that are playing out that I did not touch on today. And of course, if you liked today's video and you found yourself taking screenshots of all the transits that are happening and you wish you didn't have to save them to your camera roll, I invite you to join my newsletter down in the description box below, where I send both weekly and monthly forecasts that give you written explanations, to-do lists and to not do lists, and contemplations and key spiritual lessons that are being presented each week and month. So if you want your written summary and guide to the stars every week and every month, join my weekly newsletter. Join my newsletter down in the description box below. I don't send any of those spam promotional emails because I know how awful it is to have an overflowing inbox. So the link is down in the description box below. Drop a comment down below. Is Taurus your sun, your moon, your rising? Are you anticipating and looking forward to the month of October? What are you currently feeling going into the month of October? What intentions are you setting? What are you hoping to manifest? Drop that comment down below so that you can look back at the end of the month and see how far you've come. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name is Isabel. From my heart to yours, namaste.